Dana White continues to give the up-and-comers at 155 the opportunities to take over the division, and announced a couple more matchups the other day, and they kinda lit. So I'll start with Charles Oliveira versus Armen for UFC 300. And this matchup kinda got me back excited for what UFC 300 might be, cause you'd think that this fight would be early on the card. And it is a matchup that I have spoken on in the past about how I would like to see it. Anyway, to go ahead and get to the point, my initial pick is Charles Oliveira. I think on the feet he is superior to Armen in really every regard. He's among the best offensive fighters in the division, has an insanely deep bag, and to be honest, some of Armen's tendencies, as well as just his shorter stature, will probably open up a few weapons even more, specifically the knees and the head kicks. And on the ground, I do think Armen gonna meet his match dealing with Sir Olives. Now with all that said, Armen is more than capable of winning this fight. He's a very explosive fighter that shows some things in that quick massacre of Beneil Dariush. He might now have one-shot knockout power, and we already knowing that Oliveira don't have the greatest chin. And again, Armen is very fast and explosive, as well as being a handful on the ground. So he might look to take the fight to the ground regardless. But if he is able to hurt Charles and drop him, I don't see no reason he'd hesitate to follow him to the ground, where he's got some heavy ground and pound. So it's like somebody getting stopped, mainly because of Charles Oliveira. The man no longer knows what a decision is, for better or worse, but also because these are two men that are lacking defensively. For Olives, he mainly get caught lacking when he is being offensive. He might get caught overextending, and just in general, his head movement isn't the best. The thing is though, when I sit and think about some of the compromising positions we've seen Oliveira in over the past couple years, it's been to some very precise strikers. And I don't quite know if Armen is that. On the contrary though, we've seen Armen get caught and or hurt by some more questionable fighters. But you know, the craziest thing about it all though is that Armen actually opened as the favorite, which is low-key diabolical. To see Charles Oliveira continue to be the underdog in every single one of his fights, I just know personally I've learned from my previous mistakes. Moving on to one of the greatest UFC cards of all time, UFC 299 has added Dustin Poirier vs. Benoit Saint-Denis as its co-main event. And I ain't gonna hold you, this one absolutely caught me off guard. Now there's a few things I want to say before I get to it. One, Dana clearly really likes Benoit, and him getting an opportunity like this says it all. This is a massive step up in comp, and that actually kind of leads into point two. I mentioned in my post 295 vid that I like Benoit Saint-Denis. He tough, and I did, and still do think that he would absolutely wipe a bulk of the division. But most of the guys will probably duck him because they don't want no smoke. And I think him jumping all the way up to Dustin Poirier might just serve evidence for that. Which leads into my last point. Dustin Poirier was fiending for a fight, fam. For him to go all the way down to the 12th ranked fighter is low-key kinda nuts. But I do respect it, because it shows that he truly don't care. Because he risking a lot right here, I ain't gonna lie. But he might be understanding that his title aspirations are probably out the window by this point, or at least extremely close to it. So he just trying to get him some fights going. Now, as I did mention earlier, this is a huge step up in competition for Benoit, as Dustin is extremely skilled and experienced. And I do honestly think that Dustin will be a little too much for Saint-Denis at this current point in time. Now, Benoit could go in there and completely bulldoze Dustin, as his best assets in this one are the physicals, mainly his size and power, as well as his toughness and durability. But Dustin one of the best boxers in the division, in the UFC as a whole. And Benoit does have tendencies to absolutely just blitz you and forget what defense is. Now his chin has so far shown to be crazy, but Dustin Poirier ain't the kind of guy you just want to keep taking clean shots from. Along with this is a 5-round fight. So regardless, early on, that first round or two gonna be a dog fight. But if Benoit shows not to have the cardio to hang as the fight potentially continues, them last 3 rounds and them championship rounds specifically will prove to be hell for the man. But yeah, I could see Benoit steamrolling Dustin low-key, but I don't actually think it'll happen. Benoit is actually the early favorite too, which, hey, I feel you. But me personally, as of right now, I'm rolling with both of the geezer underdogs.